Hello, Shazy Central Rural School, parents and guardians, students, families, community members. My name is Scott Osborne. I'm the Superintendent of Schools, and I'm the Junior Senior High School Principal. I'm bringing this video to you today to give you information about school reopening here at CCRS in September of 2021. We're very pleased to announce that CCRS is going to be open for full-time, in-person, 5 days a week instruction this year. So we now present these school reopening protocols as a means to make sure that students, staff, visitors, and everyone can remain safe and healthy in our learning environment as we get back to full-time schooling this year. Our school reopening protocols is a document. It's about a 6-page document that outlines how we're going to conduct school this year, given the lingering presence of the COVID-19 pandemic. The protocols are available on our school website. There's the address right there. We emailed the protocols to all parents and guardians on August 26th, and you can always obtain a hard copy of the reopening protocols from the main office. And of course, we'll be instructing students on the first day of school when they return here on September 7th. The overall goals for the school year are to keep students and staff healthy and safe, to be responsive to student needs, and to maximize in-person teaching and learning. Our reopening protocols are based upon a guidance document that came from the State Education Department. That document, the Health and Safety Guide that you can see on the screen here from State Education, is based primarily on the Centers for Disease Control and the American Academy of Pediatrics guidance documents. We also worked collaboratively both in-house with our school reopening team and regionally with other public school systems and the Clinton County Department of Health. We're committed to opening our school in the most inclusive and safe manner possible. We are returning to in-person 5 days per week learning, but the key for all of us is going to be to remain flexible and nimble and be ready for change. We're operating an educational institution in the midst of a pandemic, so our operational plans may change as the COVID-19 virus evolves, as state and or federal guidelines are modified, or as community transmission data informs us. So again, we're going to be watching very closely the rates of community transmission. We're going to be watching the CDC dashboard, the New York State dashboard for positive cases, and we'll be consulting with the University of Vermont Health Network on hospitalization rates. It's quite possible that school reopening protocols are adjusted to either more or less restrictive settings based upon all of that data that I just mentioned. So here are the protocols. Here we go. Number 1, daily screening. Please stay home if you're showing symptoms. Parents are responsible for screening their students each day before they leave the house, making sure that everyone is okay to go to school. School administrators and the school nurse, we will be conducting random temperature checks as students arrive on campus. However, we will not be scanning every single student's forehead when they come to school like we did last year. There's no website this year for attestation for both employees and for parents' guardians. There's no online interface at all for that. Item 2, cleaning and disinfection. Buses, classrooms, offices, and other high traffic areas are going to continue to be cleaned and disinfected this year. School personnel will continue to teach and reinforce good hand washing and respiratory etiquette. When possible, windows on our school buses and in our workspaces are going to be open to get that fresh air in for as long as we can. Remote learning. Shazy Central Rural School is going to be open fully, 5 days per week this year for in-person instruction. The district will not be offering a remote instructional option unless, of course, a classroom, a grade level, or a school building has been closed due to a quarantine order, and we would have that information in conjunction with the Clinton County Health Department. If students are quarantined while their class remains open and moving forward, the same procedures would apply for a student who was out sick for a day. Work would be sent home to be completed and supported when the student returns. We're going to have some procedural changes this year for arrival and dismissal, and that change is going back to normal. So with the start of the new school year, parents are able to drop off their students for school the way that we used to pre-pandemic, which is at the courtyard parking lot off of the Minor Farm Road. The afternoon pickup is going to be the same. So student drop-off by parents and student pickup by parents is going to be returning to the courtyard parking lot. Parents will be waiting outside in the courtyard or in your own vehicle at dismissal time. We're not able to host parents in the lobby at student pickup like we used to. With that being said, our school buses are going to be returning to the pond side of the school. Please keep in mind for student drop-off procedures, students are not permitted to enter CCRS until 8:10 in the morning. And we're going to be going back to that time. That was not the time that we did during the pandemic. But in all previous years, 8:10 is when the doors to CCRS open. So please time your parent drop-off appropriately for 8 to 10 in the morning. We will be able to have visitors back into the facility this year, again, as long as the data supports us being safe to do so. Visitors will be permitted with a mask on into the building. Speaking of masks, indoor masking is going to be required for all teachers, all staff, all students, and all visitors to CCRS. Masks are not required at this time outdoors on school grounds. The big phrase that students are going to be hearing myself and every other adult say this year is correct and consistent wearing of masks. We have some specific guidance in the State Education Department Health and Safety Guide on page 8 about what exactly that means. We want the mask covering nose, mouth, and chin. So if that's not happening, perhaps we check for sizes. We should be touching only the bands when putting our mask on. We do have masks. We are able to provide students with a mask should they need one, but parents and guardians are encouraged right now at this time, while we're still technically in August, let's check those masks for back to school. Make sure that they cover the nose, mouth, and chin effectively. Physical distancing is another key prevention strategy within our school reopening protocols. We will be observing 3 feet distance between students and staff where practical. On our school buses, masks are going to be worn at all times. 3 feet of distance cannot be provided in order to fully reopen our school. So we will have no obvious spacing on school buses. So we will be masked up all the time on Shazy's school buses. We are going to be asking for seating charts on school buses. We are going to be asking siblings to sit together on our school buses. In terms of physical distancing in the school building, we're going to continue to maintain 2-directional hallways. I know in the junior, senior high, that's difficult to do during a bell switch. We'll do the best that we can. And the high school stairwells in the main building will remain one-way stairs only. That really helps us track specific traffic. The cafeteria is a place that we're going to be returning to this year, K-12, while having lunch, masks are going to be off while students are eating, of course. So we're planning for a distance greater than 3 feet. We'll be making special arrangements in different locations when we need to have fewer students in the cafeteria or in one space at a time. When meals are completed, students are going to put their mask back up. If a student is finished eating before the lunch period is over, we are going to be asking students to put their mask back up while they are idle, waiting to move on to the next class. Our fall athletics teams have been going since the 23rd of August. Soccer is in full swing here at Shazy. There's a picture of our JV girls soccer team there getting some work in last week. In terms of athletics this year, there's no masks required outside. Masks are required inside. Generally, there's no spectator counts this year. There's no gate list this year. We're returning to a full athletics season this fall like we did in the fall of 2019. Spectators will be encouraged to keep 3 feet away from each other while outside at our athletics events. Student athletes who are fully vaccinated will not need to quarantine if they are found to be in close contact of a positive case unless they show symptoms. Athletes who are not vaccinated, they will have to quarantine if they're in the close proximity of a positive. They will have no athletics participation of any type while under quarantine. That includes team dinners, team meetings, and maybe a team travel trip. If a student athlete is quarantined, they are essentially off the team for the period of quarantine. Testing. Isolation and quarantine procedures remain the same. We work very closely with county health. We're following the same New York State protocols that are in place for quarantine. So as we report a positive case to you, we determine who was in close contact, who was in proximate contact, and then contact tracers will call home with quarantine orders where they are warranted. If an individual is fully vaccinated and they are not showing symptoms, but they were in close contact, they will not be required to quarantine. We're working to collaborate with county health on a potential testing program here at school as a convenience measure for parents. More on that. That'll be coming. And of course, our new governor in New York has mentioned testing in the schools. So hopefully we'll get more information as school opens. Regarding vaccination, again, we encourage all eligible students and employees. They are encouraged to become vaccinated. At CCRS, we have a good working relationship with the Clinton County Health Department. We hosted a vaccination clinic last year. We've asked them to do so again if they need us to. On August 23rd, of course, the FDA approved the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine. So we wait to see if vaccination will be mandatory in public schools. One quick slide here specific to the side of the campus where I also serve as the principal, the junior senior high school. A couple of notes about the junior senior high. 8th period returns to normal. Our extra help period, our academic support period, 8th period returns to normal. That's from 2:30 p.m. until 3:15 to catch that second bus run home. In the junior senior high this year, students are going to be traveling between classes during bell switches with masks on. There will be no 1-minute stagger or 30-second stagger like we tried last year. We're going back to full business between the bells with masks on. Backpacks, though, we're going to relax that backpack rule. If junior, senior high students would like to use a backpack, you may. You are permitted to use one, but we are also back to regular use in visits to our lockers. The class of 2022 is really wondering about senior privileges, including the senior lounge. Those items will be determined after classes begin in September. If you have questions on any of our school reopening protocols for the year, I would encourage you to contact our school nurse, Kim Goslin. There's her number and extension. If you are an elementary parent regarding an elementary student, please contact Mr. Rob McAuliffe, the elementary principal, at that number or email. And if you are the parent of a student in the junior senior high, please contact me. Here's my email address and here's my number. The first day of school is Tuesday, September the 7th in Chazy at 8:10 in the morning. Dismissal will be at 2:30 p.m. We are running 8th period right off the bat. So there will be also our second dismissal at 3:15 p.m. We're very excited to have all 456 of our students back this year at CCRS. We're going to work diligently as we have last year with your cooperation and support to keep everyone safe and healthy. And let's move education forward here in Chazy. I'm looking forward to a fantastic school year. I want to thank you in advance for your support, and please contact us with your questions, okay? Thank you very much, and happy new school year. Thank you.